It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Oh my God. It's my birthday. Hey. Welcome to the CWC podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We appreciate everybody who has tuned in to all of the shows so far, man. We're getting a lot of great feedback, getting a lot of good comments, a lot of mostly positive stuff. Let me go ahead and say that most of the stuff we've gotten back has been positive. So we appreciate all of that. And we're here tonight for another show, and we are changing the pace and the tenor of what we've been doing so far. We've been covering modern relationships and toxic relationships, modern dating aspects, and all those things. We're kind of shifting now into a specialty arena of sisters, which we're talking about veganism and the vegan lifestyle. And the title of the show is actually How Do Vegans See the World? Right? Because I think one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have about vegans, I think they could just be misunderstood, right? They're very passionate about what their lifestyle that they've chosen. And this show is to kind of shed some light because my sister's vegan. I'm not. There's a lot of stuff about her world that I still don't understand. So this show is going to be a kind of a learning experience for me. I'll be learning along with you. And I'm going to basically be kind of like the interviewer tonight, kind of interviewing her and peppering her with some questions that I have created because I'm curious. And I know a lot of you probably are too. And that's what tonight's show is about. So once again, thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to do that. Leave a comment, leave a like. All those things help us as we continue to pump out the content. So we appreciate everybody so far. So now let's jump right into the meat of the subject. How do vegans see the world? You're vegan. I'm not. Yeah. What inspired you to go vegan?
Well, for me, it wasn't something I set out to become. It wasn't a label I was looking to achieve or anything like that. I just happened to be very sick for a very long time. And as you know, I suffered for 15 years with ulcerative colitis. For anyone that doesn't know that, anything that ends in itis, it means inflammation of colon, inflammation of the colon. And I suffered tremendously every time I ate because you have to go to the bathroom eventually. And I lived in the bathroom. I lived in a lot of pain, and the medical field, American health care system, was failing me horribly. They really had no problems prescribing more and more and more. And they had no problems cutting me open. They had no problems ordering more injections and more pain medication and more and more and more. And I wasn't getting better. And it got to a point where my kidney functions were in the toilet. My liver functions were in the toilet. And then when my skin started changing on me, I was wearing a lot of makeup. And when I would go home and wash my face, you couldn't see it. But if you touched my face, I felt like Braille. Like something was happening. Now my skin was starting to fail. Like I was starting to have organ failure, like slowly. I knew that I was dying, and just very slowly, it takes a while, but I knew something bad was happening. And Skylar was still really little, and I am not leaving my kid. And it was my love for her that gave me the discipline and the motivation to make the change. And what really happened was I prayed. I was afraid of leaving her, and she was only 5. And I remember I took her to school, and that day I went back home and I looked at myself in the mirror and I started to cry. And I said, God, I will do whatever you lead me to do. Just let me raise her. Just let me be here long enough to raise her. What do I got to do?
So you didn't meet another vegan person?
No.
Because I was unclear on that too. I didn't know if you saw a commercial or you talked to somebody, or there was
I knew nothing
a nurse
about
that gave you the advice, or
I knew nothing about food. I knew nothing about the meat and dairy industry. I knew nothing about slaughterhouses. I knew nothing about anything. I was a foodie, right? I thought it was fun to have big pieces of meat swimming in sauce and expensive meals and drinks and all of these things. And I'm a foodie. Yeah, I was a foodie. I
remember you used to go to
killing myself.
What was that restaurant you used to like that you really like going there?
I still like going there.
What's the name of that restaurant?
Houston's.
Is it Houston's?
Well, that's my favorite restaurant. But.
Okay, there was another one that you used to go to.
There was another one. When I first they had big chunks of meat. Yeah,
and it had you used to talk specifically about the chunks of meat and it was cooked perfectly. And so to hear her talking this way is why I'm asking, because I remember when she was a meat connoisseur, like she liked to go. Remember, you guys went to the Argentinian steakhouse that time, and didn't you eat lots and lots of meat?
The knife.
the knife. Okay,
yes. To go there.
Yeah, lots of meat, right?
Lots of meat. I used to eat a lot of cheese. I had a drawer in the refrigerator dedicated to cheese. I had all different cheeses, like 7 different cheeses in there. Mm-hmm. But the day that I prayed, it's amazing how God works, because when you come to an agreement upon a thing and everything in you agrees with you, magic really does happen.
All the fiber of your being.
All the fiber of my being was in agreement, like for real, because that day my life changed. I found a text message in my phone that was there for God knows how long. It was a message from someone. It was led me to a doctor on YouTube. And I wasn't a YouTube person then. I knew really nothing about YouTube. I was a cable TV person.
Yeah, you were plugged in.
I was plugged in. I was very much asleep. I didn't know anything about my own health or anything. And I was a nurse at the time, by the way. Anyways, it led me to a doctor. That doctor led me to other doctors. I found Dr. Sabi and Dr. Robert Morse, and I never looked back. Once I started hearing truth about food, I just couldn't believe it. Like, we make ourselves sick.
And we're going to share with you some key things that she shared with me today that I had no idea. Like, I'm looking at the stats, like, what? As a matter of fact, let's segue into those stats, because I just want to share that with you guys real quick before we jump to the next point. This in particular caught my eye. So you should be seeing on screen, we're sharing a graph. Now, explain this graph. What are we looking at here?
Well, this one is telling you the water and the food consumption that is, in comparison, cows take the cake. The biggest problem that we really have is animal agriculture and what we're doing with cows. Cows take up more land, more food, more methane farts, and they're not even eating the right diet. The whole thing is wrong.
So what it says, guys, and what caught my eye here is it says global water and food consumption. Okay, so for the cow, it says 135 billion pounds of food. And for this is for humans, right? 5.2 billion gallons of water, so 21 billion pounds of food, 45 billion gallons of water. These are massive numbers, and this is what we consume.
Yes,
this is what we consume. And it says per day. Is that true?
Yes,
this is per day.
Yes, because you got to think of how much land we've destroyed just for animal agriculture. If you could just see the miles and miles and the deforestation that is happening just to breed more cows into existence to make the hamburger. Show them the hamburger slide.
So the next slide here, this one real quick is it shows us this one says Cowspiracy. So it takes 880 to 1,000 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of milk. That blew me away. I was like, is this true? Like this, it seems so crazy, but
it does.
But these are the facts.
The cow is a massive consumer.
Wow. So this talks about here. This is the acreage that we consume. So for palm oil, it says it consumes 26 million acres. Cattle grazing and feeding crops, 136 million acres of land. And you could build a lot of homes on all that land, right? So we're more land than we think here. Now here's a hamburger one that you were talking about. So this is water usage. So it's one hamburger to make one hamburger in a restaurant. So you go to McDonald's or any of these places you go to get a burger. It takes 660 gallons of water, which is the equivalent of 2 months worth of showers for an adult human. I know some of y'all don't take that many showers, but on average. And it talks about, so meat and dairy industry uses 1/3 of the Earth's fresh water supply. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's huge numbers here. USA water usage, 5% domestic households and 55% animal agriculture once again. So this is consumption, guys. This is and then here's 10 things that the government doesn't want you to know. Why don't you read some of these off?
What does it say? About 56 billion animals are killed every year. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of species extinction. Animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gas emissions than the entire transportation industry combined.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so you're
this is
telling
cow
me,
farts.
So just to put that in perspective, the entire transportation industry, this is all the subways in the world, all the mass transit, buses, airlines, cruise ships, all of these things. Animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gas emissions. So all of you Save the Planet green people, sounds like y'all should be going vegan.
Sounds like it.
Okay, continue.
Let's see. World Watch Institute estimate animal agriculture to be responsible for 51% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Animal agriculture is responsible for 91% of the Amazon deforestation. They are tearing down the Amazon rainforest to breed more cows into existence to have more cow farts.
They were doing this when I was in junior high because we watched a thing on the Amazon for deforestation. So this has been, a long time ago, but
yeah.
Okay, keep going.
It's estimated that someone who doesn't eat animals saves between 371 and 582 animals every year. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of ocean dead zones. 1/3 of the Earth's land is used for animal agriculture, 1/3. And animal agriculture is the leading cause of water pollution. And scientists predict that there will be no fish in the ocean by 2048. That is a very interesting prediction. But
now, what's interesting about that particular prediction is that a friend of mine went on a cruise. And he ended up going to a couple different ports, and he left from, I think he ended up going to Haiti and some other places. And a couple of the ports, it was noticeable that there wasn't a lot of fish in the, in and around the boat, the shallow areas. You see the little minnows or whatever swimming around. And he asked somebody, he said, man, where's all the fish at, right? And the person basically told him, it's all gone. Yeah. Everybody's fishing so much, right? And with food and everything being so expensive, people are fishing even more and more, and they're going to outfish. There's no any fish left, so that kind of makes sense to me, right there.
That's happening. Wondering. Yeah.
So, very interesting stats there, guys. I didn't know any of this when we prior to coming on the show tonight, and just when we were doing research for the show, these numbers blew me away. I had no idea that from the consumption level that it costs just that much in land and all these things for the cows, man. They're a lot to dang.
Yeah.
Now, okay, with that being said,
what makes it worse about the cows too is, we breed them into existence. They rape the cows, when they're fisting them.
Is that what they're doing?
Yes. Okay. And after the calf is born, if it's a male calf, they take them anyways, male or female, but they take them from the mother. The male calf, they take immediately and they put them in a small pen and they force feed it for about 6 weeks or so. And then it's veal because the male cow is useless to the dairy farm. So that becomes the veal. And then the baby calf, the female calf, she'll become another dairy cow. And cows can live about 20 something years. They drop after about 4 or 5 years of sheer exhaustion, inflammation, disease. And a lot of the cow milk people are drinking has pus. It's got blood. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. Like, now, I wouldn't drink cow milk if I was cow milk, anyone.
I stopped drinking, not because of veganism, but because one of my daughters was sick and she had a condition where she couldn't have dairy. So we shut off the cow milk. We started using almond milk, and that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I haven't drank milk in that long, but not because of this. But now that I know that I haven't been drinking it, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
When you hear about the process and what's
they're overworked, their udders are infected, and mastitis, and there's pus. They're very infected. I wouldn't drink cow milk as one of my best recommendations. It's very inflammatory. It causes a lot of inflammation, a lot of mucus in the body, and it's one of the things that causes or feeds illness and disease. So that's basically how I became vegan. I cut out all the foods that cause inflammation. So when I did my research on food, it just turns out that animal products, alcohol, soda, coffee, all these things that are acidic on the pH scale are what causes inflammation and what causes the disease process. So if you can wipe out the inflammation, you can wipe out the disease. So flip it. You eat alkaline food. It just turns out that a vegan diet is alkaline. So I wasn't seeking to be vegan. I just fell kind of into it. And someone had said to me one day, she goes, "Oh, so you're vegan." And I went, "I guess I am." And I said, "Well, if I'm going to wear this label, I need to find out what the animals go through. I need to know what this whole thing is about." And when I found out about slaughterhouses and what happens, because I didn't know, I honestly didn't know. I had someone say to me, "You mean to tell me you didn't know about slaughterhouses, Amina?" No, I didn't.
I knew what it is. Just like I knew like what they did, right? Like, but I didn't like.
I knew animals got killed, chopped up somewhere. I knew that, but I didn't know until you see the footage and you see what's actually happening when these adults that are in charge of these animals don't think anybody's looking.
Yeah.
It's just, it was too heartbreaking for me. It sealed the deal. And then when I saw the condition that the chickens are in and, so the whole thing, it was just too much information. I said, okay, I guess I'm vegan.
So understand that it's not just for a lot of vegans. It's not just the health portion of it. It's actually the affection for the animals. Like when you understand what they go through and what the process is. Now, I am going to counterpoint you on this because the question that I get all the time is, okay, two things. So we breed these animals so that we can eat them, right? So what are we going to just kill them all? Because if we don't eat them, what are we going to do with them?
That comes up all the time. So obviously the world isn't going to stop eating animals all at the same time. It would obviously be a natural, if we could get people to cut back and get people to slow down, it would be a slow progression. We would slow down. We would stop impregnating them. We would stop breeding them into existence to keep doing what we're doing. And we would get down to a normal level. And then we would have to do what we're doing with the dogs, right? We rescue them and we fix them so that we don't have a whole bunch of strays walking all over the place. That's kind of what would happen, I think.
Okay, because so it would be a gradual process. Because you're right. Everybody's not going to stop, right? And just we're not eating anymore.
Yeah,
but it would be a gradual process, and we would be able to systematically because like you say, there's people that raise chickens for a living, right? What are they going to do with all the chickens?
Exactly.
Like what? Like it's like okay, well, we kind of don't need you anymore because chickens really don't have any benefit other than food, right? So the counter argument I hear from people is like, well, okay, so
they can play the piano.
We're going to have all of these chickens that we're going to have to kill anyway. And think about it, people who are, and this is going to segue into another question, people who don't have the money, because one of the preconceived notions about veganism is that it's expensive to be vegan. It's expensive to eat healthy, right? It's cheap to go to drive-through at McDonald's, right?
It used to be.
It used to be, right? I heard somebody say that the other day. They said, "Man, I went to the McDonald's drive-through. It was like $13." I'm like, "For what?" Like, what? You say it used to be $4. It's $13. I said, I would have kept driving. But there are people who that's part of their regular diet. But so is it expensive? Is it?
I beg to differ.
Okay, so that's a misconception.
Eating animals is way more expensive. Now, it depends on what kind of vegan you are. You can be vegan and be unhealthy and eat a lot of processed foods. Like there's a lot of things that they've made, like mock meats, chicken, and meals that come in frozen packages that you can put in the freezer like you would regular food. It's all processed. There's a lot of vegan choices that are animal-like, right? The texture, but it's still processed food. It's still not good for you, even though you're not eating animals per se. But if you are eating a plant-based vegan diet, yes, of course. Yes, there is. But if you're eating a plant-based vegan diet, if you're eating plants are cheap. They're
Yeah, it
way
makes sense.
cheaper.
I mean,
sweet potato is cheaper.
sweet
A potato, big bag of potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can eat all the
This is
fruit you
boring.
want.
This is boring, though, right? Nobody wants to do this.
You
right?
have to. Well, you know what? I found out it became really fun because I was learning all different ways to make food. And if you don't know what to do, Pinterest is a plethora of vegan recipes and vegan ideas. And there's a lot of fun food out there. Like I found it like a new adventure because I was learning new ways to eat instead of just having the meat, the potato, the vegetable, the meat, the rice, it's always kind of the same configuration on the plate. With the American diet, when you go plant-based vegan, you get very creative.
For example, tonight, before the show, we had vegan chili, which was, I'd never had vegan chili before. So it was, and it's good. I eat Impossible meat and stuff. I've started, like, I just actually kind of like it. Like, more than, because I usually eat ground turkey. I'm getting to the point where I'm buying the Impossible meat instead of the ground turkey. It's just like a gradual thing that I like the texture a little bit more. I like this chili you made tonight. It was great. It was rice and beans and chili. And I told her we should take it to a chili cook-off, not tell anybody that it's vegan chili. And then we ended up winning the whole thing with that chili. They're like, what is that, lamb? It's unbelievable. Because if you don't tell somebody, like, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe someone who eats a lot of red meat would detect it immediately.
Well, there wouldn't be bits of things in it.
You give it to it.
It always drove me nuts about eating animals. There's always a hard piece or something in there that you're like chewing and you just swallow it real fast. What is that?
So why should I consider going vegan? Like, or anyone in the audience, like, we know your story. You went at it from, you had a demand to change your life. You wanted to get out of the off the medical pharmaceutical hamster wheel. And
it was successful. Within 60 days, I lost like 18 pounds, like really quick without even exercising. And within the first 90 days, I was off of the injection and a bunch of steroids and stuff like that. And
so ladies, y'all are out here struggling with diets, right? Because I hear it's all over TikTok and social media, like this whole, like, women are stuck. Because let's just be honest, like, we've been talking about it on the show, and a lot of people have been talking on their channels. The American average woman is heavy, like, she's overweight, and it's not to tear people down; it's just the truth. The average American woman is very, very overweight, and you see a lot of these women. You see them on TikTok, you see them talk about how they're struggling to lose weight and things like that.
I swear, by a vegan diet, if you want to lose weight, you want to lose 10 pounds real quick, go on a vegan diet.
Sounds like it would work. I mean, I'm just thinking about it in layman's terms. I'm thinking about, okay, you're cutting out all this meat, all the protein, all the, things that go with it. You're cutting all that out. You're going to
you rid your body of mucus, right? Because you're not going to be eating anything that causes mucus in the body. So candida, mucus, all of that is going to be flushed out.
And you stop drinking milk.
Yeah, no, can't drink milk. You're going to enhance your immune system. You can balance your hormones. You get rid of brain fog. I woke up out of the matrix after I went vegan. I woke up.
Yeah.
I know I woke up.
Yeah, because she was.
Whoa.
She was. Yeah. This is a huge success story, seriously. And I'm not just saying this because of my sister. I saw her go from being, like, really a sick and kind of sad person to now she's very vibrant. She's very passionate about this topic, right? Because it literally saved. I mean, I remember when you had some of those surgeries. I remember when you were walking around and you looked like something out of Night of the Living Dead or something. She had been cut open and ripped open. She had surgeries and all these things. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they had no problems. I had 3 surgeries. I lived with a colostomy bag for 4 months. I had staples clear up to here. I've had a chest tube. My lungs have collapsed. I've got stories. The American healthcare system was having a field day with my failing body. And that's kind of what we do. We'll just keep patching you up, but you want to live.
Now, as a nurse, do you tell people this stuff?
I tell them my story.
Okay.
I share my story because I want them to know that there's hope.
People you work with.
People I work with and my patients. I want my patients to know that I know what it's like to be sick. I know what it's like to be very afraid and to be very close to death. And that I'm going to do the best I can by them. As long as you're my patient, I'm going to make sure you're okay.
So a lot of positives here, guys. I mean, you can see, like I said, she's very passionate about this because she knows that it works and she believes in her heart of hearts that it works. Right now, she gets a lot of ridicule, and I'm about to ridicule her right now because I got some smoke for her because I'm going to come back with some questions, kind of from my perspective and from the perspective of people who I've spoken to about veganism and things. Because I've mentioned it because people have asked me, they say, your sister's she's vegan, right? And they asked me if I was, because that a lot of people,
why should you go vegan?
yeah, why should I go vegan? Like, okay, why should I? For me personally, I don't think I'm going to go vegan, but I'm going closer to that lifestyle than my old lifestyle of, I still do love my chicken and fish, though. I have a chicken and fish for now, but I am getting more into just me changing my diet. Like you remember, people think I'm skinny now, but like I said, I'm actually the correct body weight. What it was, where the way I was eating before, even though I was working out and things like that, I was still kind of not healthy, if that makes any sense. I was a little bit pudgy, a little bit soft, my levels weren't the best. I remember I had high cholesterol for a long time. I would go get my physicals, and one time they sent me back paperwork like, yo, man, cholesterol's high, bro. So I had to start being cognizant. My blood pressure was a little high. So just because you might see somebody and they appear to be healthy,
right?
They may not be.
Exactly.
They may have different things under the hood that are wrong. So as I started kind of changing my diet and eating consciously eating better and thinking, okay, I'm not going to have that. I'm going to have this. I'm not going to have this. I'm going to have that. And consciously making an effort. I didn't try to lose weight. I just lost weight. So now I'm like 190 pounds. Now I was like 220. So that's a lot of weight. It's 30 pounds, right? It's a lot of weight. And
it's amazing what happens when you just eat what proper nutrition you should be eating and making sure, I cheat. Everybody cheats, right? But I went from I was 148 pounds to 118 pounds very, very quickly in 60 days.
Ladies, again, I mean, it sounds like you can, for the ladies, it sounds to me like this is ticket. It sounds to me like, because to be fair, ladies, you have it harder than we do when it comes to losing weight, especially as we get older. When it comes to getting in shape, being motivated to go to the gym, it's harder for you guys to lose it. We know that it's harder in most cases for women to lose the weight. But it sounds like if you change the diet and if you start going down the vegan path, it sounds like you lose the weight. You probably lose it quickly.
You lose weight and you lose a lot of inflammation, a lot of the achy joints, a lot of the, hemming and hawing that people do when they get up and sit down and move around. And
but why do they do fad diets? Like people do fad diets all the time, especially women. It's always the South Beach diet or the keto diet or this.
Women are just trying anything.
They're trying anything.
I think they're just trying anything and seeing what sticks and what works for them. If you want to try a vegan diet, 7-day vegan diet, vegan cleanse will be linked in the description box below. I've got one for you. You want to lose some weight? You want to feel great? You want to balance your hormones? You want just lose some weight? I mean, and fast, right? So
she can help. The thing is, guys, she can help you with this journey. Like she can help you. She's an open book on this stuff. Like I said, she's going to share some information in the description box. If you want to get more information about this, and I believe if you want to change your life for the better, you can't go wrong by doing it, right? I think right. I mean, worst case scenario, like you don't like
it would never hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you at the end of the day. It's not going to put you on another medication. It's not going to put you on something else.
As a matter of fact, plant-based diet is proven to reverse heart disease. Proven to reverse heart disease.
And let's share that graphic that you showed me. You showed me a graphic earlier.
Yeah. The thing is, the average age of people going vegan is 42. Why is that?
Well, I would say because by around year 40, you start realizing, hey,
you start having problems.
You go to the doctor and the doctor starts telling you, hey, you got to start doing this because of this.
I was 42.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm sure when you found that out, you were like, wow, this is absolutely insane. Like how did, and you didn't know that stat till afterward, right? Like you didn't know that.
No, exactly. No, I didn't know.
Until you were actually, now I'm going to share this graphic with you guys. I don't know what the heck it is, but I'm going to let my sister explain what we're
There's a
looking at
couple
here.
of them. Yeah.
So this slide on the screen, on the left, what are we looking at on
the one on the left? You see where the arrow is pointing? That's a narrowed artery
right
there. That person is going to need a bypass.
Mhm.
So the one on the right is approximately, what does it say, 60 months
60
on a
months.
plant-based diet and cholesterol lowering medication, and the artery is opened back up. That's one picture. We have several slides that could show you proof that it literally reverses heart disease. So it's, everyone is going to die at some point. We're all going to die. Vegans are not going to live to be 130. I mean, at least not in America. But it's quality of life.
That's what I was going to ask you.
It is quality of life. They are going to look better. They're going to feel better. They're going to be on less medications. They're going to sleep better. They're not going to have all that gut in the way when they're trying to sleep. All that snoring comes from poor diet and poor physical health.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things would just work better.
That's one thing that people ask me, right? They say, well, if being vegan was so great, how come their life expectancy is the same as an average person?
They're not going for a cabbage. They're not going for a their quadruple bypass. But the man that had the triple bypass that's going for the quadruple, he won't stop eating hamburgers. He just won't.
There's and hey, and chances are the vegan doesn't have to get things amputated later in life and things like that.
Well, they're definitely not coming down with diabetes and things like that. Those are the people that lose their limbs.
Quality of life. I think that's the key to it. It's quality of life. Okay, we may both, because there's somebody out there that's going to say, my grandmother lived to be 95 and she drank cigarettes. She smoked cigarettes.
Now, one of my ex-fiance's grandmother drank vodka every day and smoked cigarettes without a filter every day. And lived to be almost 100. But she's the exception. There's exceptions, but the majority rule, guys, and most men die before the women and are not in the
other reasons. We'll cover that on different show. All the guys are out there, because we'll cover that on the show. But I'm going to share one more graph with you. This is another picture of the reversal of heart disease. You should be seeing on the screen. So this is a little bit better graph. You can kind of see here on the left here where it's narrow here, right?
Yeah.
The artery is narrow. And then you see here, this is 3 years later, basically, 1996 to 1999. And it's opened up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And this was from a patient who went full-blown plant-based diet. And just it doesn't say anything about taking medications or anything. It's just diet. And I think that diet is a huge, huge part of
diet is the biggest culprit of everything. You can go to the gym every day, but if you are not eating the right diet, it's not going to show. You're still going to be puffy on the outside. You're not going to get that definition. Nobody's going to be able to see, that you've been to the gym.
Which you guys saw in the clip in the beginning. The lady that we showed you. Shout out, by the way, to Chrissy Carvalho. If you want to check her out on TikTok, I used her as an example because she's 50 years old and she looks amazing. I mean, I saw when I found her on, I was like, wow, this lady looks quite amazing. I mean, just her age. I mean, you can see her skin, and she had some other stuff on her page where she had bad acne problems and things like that. And when she went vegan, she cleared up her acne. She got in shape. She kind of was a little puffy before. Now she's ripped. I mean, you saw it. So shout out to her. Fair use to her TikTok page. But
a vegan diet will clear up your skin.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's lots and lots of benefits to it, and something that maybe you should consider as well. Now, are vegans judgmental a-holes, man, or are you guys just misunderstood? Because that's something that I think Joe Rogan doesn't like y'all. Put it that way. He doesn't like y'all. He doesn't like vegans. There are a lot of people in the manosphere as well that I know that they can't stand, especially vegan men. Oh my gosh, they cannot stand. There's all kinds of funny terms. So are you guys, what is it with you guys? Are you just passionate? What is it?
Well, I think it's definitely just a combination of all of it. There's something for everybody in the vegan community, but there are some that are just assholes. Yeah.
Didn't one get short with you or something?
Yes. When I first joined Instagram, this guy, he really he didn't like me after, and I didn't even know what I did, but he was just a very angry vegan. So angry that on Thanksgiving, he told me he played the movie Earthlings in front of his family. Now, if anyone doesn't know what Earthlings is, it's the movie that I watched about what happens in the slaughterhouses and the chickens and the cut. They were all being murdered. This is at Thanksgiving. He was that angry with his family.
Oh, because
they were eating turkey. So he put on, yeah, so he was just a very angry vegan.
So the reason I say that is because, being judgmental, right? So it's easy to nitpick people's lifestyle and say, so she's vegan, but she does lip filler, or she's vegan and she does Botox, because there's a lot of girls that may be vegan, but they do these things, and you can kind of tell when someone's done these things, right?
Yeah.
And they do use animal fats and things like that in Botox and cosmetics, period. Like if you're using cosmetics, there's some kind of animal product in it. You read the back of it, nobody understands what the 17,000 things on the back are.
Yeah.
But
more and more companies are going cruelty free, luckily. Okay. Because it's a thing. People don't want things or animals were tortured. Like it could be done another way. You didn't have to do that.
So it's not, and for you.
So you have the angry vegan and you have the passionate, you know, if you watch any of the footage of what happens to these animals, and if you're an animal lover, everyone claims to love animals, but they still have no problems, you know, sitting down and ordering the dead animal. But I can't be a part of it because I know these animals, they are sentient, just like you and me. They feel fear and anticipation and happy and sad. They cry, they laugh, they jump, they play, they have families. Like,
you show me the pigs video.
And they're, yes.
You show me little piglets that were running around having fun. It's very touching. So
I can't.
If you eat pork, don't watch that particular video. You'd be devastated. What have I been doing this whole time?
Yeah.
But yeah, they have personality.
So when you watch the video, then you become passionate about it because they're minding their own business. And here we come.
Yeah.
And God gave us dominion over the animals, but this is not what he meant. Not in the capacity of what we're doing. What we're doing is heinous. It is an animal holocaust that is happening. It is very sad.
Wow. So guys, I mean, you're hearing the passion here. I mean, this is great because it makes you or helps you to understand like why maybe the vegan person comes off as judgmental or, you know, kind of they're poking their nose up at you because you're buying the meat or whatever. I kind of understand it. I understand that they're, like you said, the guy that was even mean to you. Like there are people who are really like they're angry, passionate about it. Like they have an anger to it that kind of.
And then sometimes their anger is misdirected. I saw where some activists walked into a like convenience store or something, and they opened up all the cow milk and just started dumping it out on the floor. But who does that hurt?
Yeah,
it hurts the people that have to clean it up. So it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So you could, and you can't be angry with people for not knowing, right? Like it's just like if you're ignorant, because you think about it, how long were you ignorant to all of this? Like a long time.
Yeah, you gotta.
You know. Yeah. So it's a waking up process. It's just like people who still like trust the mainstream media, right? Like it's like those people, like they haven't woken up yet. They still think that this stuff is real.
Yeah.
So it's a process.
But in their defense, most people are very toxic. They're toxic from the food that the government is shoveling down their throats on every corner down the street. There's another fast food restaurant. There's one here, one there. They're all over the place. And there's a science to food. They make it crispy, make it extra salty, make it look this way, so that they get people addicted. And they get addicted to toxic food that builds up in their system, that causes them not to be able to really think for themselves. So then they are easily controlled by what's pumped out of the television or whatever media they are taking in. And if they're toxic, they're not free thinkers. They have no discernment. So they're unable to see through the lies, and they keep the the cycle going. They keep eating the garbage and believing the bullshit, eating the garbage and believing the bullshit. Mm-hmm. And until this is why I tell people, you got to cleanse, man. Yeah. You've got to cleanse. You got to clean your pipes out 2-3 times a year. Because when you do that, this clears up too. And then you can see, like really see.
So one thing on the same topic or the same point, that's one thing you were telling me is like with the parasites and the worms.
Yeah.
And how people have them like manifesting and growing and saying they're down there and they're having a ball in there. They're in there dancing. There's a whole day in there dancing.
There's a whole ecosystem going on.
There's a lot going on in there. And it kind of made sense because we were talking about mental illness. Mm-hmm. And which also ties into diet. And how, and it makes sense to me, right? Because if you have these things going on in your body, you're toxic, there's things growing and dancing, you have an ecosystem going on inside of your body. Mm-hmm. Your brain is not getting,
they're controlling you,
the right responses to
there's
your
no
brain.
Clearance.
And your brain, you're not making clear decisions, you're not thinking clearly because you're toxic, right? So that makes sense to me, right?
It just is a cycle.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
You've got to cleanse yourself. You've got to clean the pipes out every now and 2-3 times a year. We don't promote that in the United States for some reason. I don't know why. And when you talk to people about doing a cleanse or parasites or protozoas or anything that could be living inside of you, they don't even believe you.
Yeah. Yeah. They're shocked. But what are you? It's like when you tell people about holistic medicine, right? Like I've seen that too. Like I had a boss who, she was totally holistic. She didn't even take aspirin. Like she didn't take anything over the counter, nothing. So, and she did everything. Like she gets sick. She had her herbal remedies and all of these things. And she was telling me, this was years and years ago. And she was telling me about the holistic doctors. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me back then, they don't want you to know this stuff. And I thought she was weird.
There are holistic doctors that believe that the basis of our illnesses is the parasites and the worms. And once we deworm our dogs as soon as we get our dogs, right? Mm-hmm. Why are we not deworming ourselves? Go deworm yourself and watch your acne clear up. Watch your insomnia go away. Watch your anxiety all of a sudden disappear. Watch your ADD all of a sudden be non-existent. Mm-hmm. These things come because you're out of balance. You're completely out of homeostasis because you have beings inside of you that are outweighing the good. So you're out balanced. You got to get rid of those just got to get a cleanse, guys. Go ahead. Link in description box.
This is great information, guys. Like I said, it's great knowledge to you, like I said, for me, because I didn't know a lot of these stats. I didn't know a lot of these just crazy numbers and we never really ate red meat, like growing up. Like our parents were kind of already like half vegetarian or whatever. Like we used to get made fun of, remember? Yeah. Like people used to think we were weird. Like we were the weird light-skinned kids in school that didn't eat meat. And everybody was looking at us when they were looking at us when we were eating lunch like this.
She always has peanut butter and jelly.
They used to think we were weird. Like I go to friends of mine's house to spend the night or whatever, and they would be making like whatever they were making, right? And I'm worried, that there's going to be meat in it
because we don't eat that.
And one time you ate at somebody's house and got like violently sick,
I traded my peanut butter and jelly for a bologna sandwich because I'd never had bologna before. I didn't know what it was. Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I remember that. I had, oh God, I was sick for 2 days.
Your body, once you start eating that way and then you try to go, your body's like, what is this? Get this out of here right now. I'm not eating this. I'm not digesting this. Get out.
Yeah.
So we've always kind of practiced, I think, like a healthy diet in general. I mean, when we were younger, and then I know we kind of went off the rails a little bit in our 20s like everybody else.
Yeah.
But for me to not like me, I never liked pork. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like the flavor. It was too salty. I didn't like the texture. People used to think I was crazy. They were like, what are you talking about? This chicharron. How do you not eat this? I don't like it. Like people would make fun of me. You don't know what you're missing. Yes, I do. I tried it and I don't like it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
But that's part of the, some people who are brought, they may eat meat every single day.
Pigs they don't sweat. They don't, like how we sweat and we filter through our skin. Pigs don't. So all of the toxins that is in their body that isn't coming out gets trapped in the skin. And then you fry that up.
It's salty.
And you eat that up.
I never did. Like I tasted it. I'm like, it's salty. I'm not a big pork fan, but so yeah, guys, this show is going to have 3 parts because this is such a big topic.
Yeah.
We actually have some guests lined up for this specific topic that are going to be coming on probably within the next couple of weeks. So this is a big topic. We got a lot more to share on this. This is a good icebreaker. We want to know, I mean, hey, would you consider going vegan? I mean, it sounds enticing to me. And I'm saying even like for guys, like I said, she's shown me some big Hercules looking
we'll do that
vegan
next
men
week.
That these guys, because one of the conceptions that somebody asked me today but what does your sister do for protein, right? Like they're like, you're not going to have any energy if you're not eating, because they believe that the only way to get the protein is from meat.
And you know what? It's so funny because the strongest animals don't eat meat.
Yeah.
The ox doesn't eat meat. The hippo doesn't eat meat. The chimpanzee is eating all kinds of bananas.
Mm-hmm.
It'll rip your arm out of socket.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cow eats grass.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You don't have to.
Rice and beans together makes a perfect protein. A can of black beans has the same amount of protein as a 6-ounce steak. Like there's plenty of protein in everything that we eat. It's part of the programming of the mainstream to get you to be a part of the meat and dairy hamster wheel, to tell you that milk does a body good, which they've debunked that, and that you can only get protein from eating animals. And it's just simply not true. None of that is true.
Lots of info being dropped here.
If you ever wanted to go vegan, ever was interested in seeing what it's like being vegan, or just want to lose some weight, we have a 7-day vegan cleanse link down below. If you were interested in trying going vegan, want to go vegan?
Try it. Are you talking to me? She's not talking to me. No, I've been, she's been slow. I think I've been slowly converting that way anyway. Like I said, I really don't buy. And luckily my kid eats whatever. So she doesn't even care. Like she's like, oh, it's impossible for me. Sure.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
She's great.
So she's very easy.
She'll eat anything.
Very, some kids, they literally don't eat anything. Like the parent has to pay. She only eat one noodle. Like some of these kids don't eat anything. My kid, not that problem. She'll eat anything. So I could convert her with no problem. Like she wouldn't even ask any questions. I noticed that we have a lot of tofu. That's all she would say.
She's fine.
So guys, we're going to wrap up. This is part 1, like I said, probably of a 3-part series on this. It's a broad topic. We got still a lot of more info to share on this. Again, we're going to
tell us what you think. Yeah. Would you go vegan? Would you try it?
Yeah. What does it take? Can you do it?
Can you do it?
Try it.
It does take a lot of discipline now.
Try it. Hey, try it 30 days, right? You could do it for 30 days. Anybody, and then you know
what? 7 days.
7 days.
It's a 7-day challenge down below.
You may fall in love with the results. And like I said, for women, if you find something where you're going to lose weight.
That's what happened to me. I fell in love with the results, to be honest with you. Yeah. I fell in love. The first 30 days, I saw a change. 60 days. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. And that's how I did on a 30-day basis until it just became a lifestyle.
Stuff becomes a habit. So thank you guys for joining us. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Again, we'll have the links in the description box for all the resources that we shared today. Like and subscribe to the channel. On your way out, leave us a comment. Let us know. Hey, man, do you know if someone who's gone vegan that's changed their life? Share that with us. Maybe we even have a person on the show. Who knows? Because we're going to open this topic up, and we'll have some guests next time for you. So, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Go vegan. Save the animals.
She's going to convert all of you guys pretty soon. So we're going to wrap up, guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. We're out.
Bye.